America's facing a lot right now. But never mind that, because comedian Reggie Watts has a new stand-up special, and he's drumming up 90s nostalgia and ditching the pressure to find the humor of today. Take a look.
People are talking about Y2K. I don't think that that's going to happen. Personally, not a big believer in it. I think it's a little bit of a hype, but at the same time, be kind of cool.
Okay, please help me welcome, we love him, comedian Reggie Watts.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you. All right, let me ask you this, Reggie. What is it about today's world that you had set your new comedy special, Nevermind, in the 90s? It's genius. I just want to hear from you about it.
Yeah, I just love time travel, and I thought, why not set a comedy special in a different time period? It was just kind of just something I always wanted to do, and when the opportunity came up, I thought, hey, let's just see what happens.
It's going to be so funny. What's your favorite thing about, or what's your funniest thing, let's say, about comedy from the 90s?
I mean, I don't know if I was necessarily hitting like the tone of comedy in the 90s, but I mean, kind of a little bit, Mr. Show maybe. But I think probably just talking about the hopefulness of the internet, of like, back then we thought that the internet was, or at least I thought that the internet was going to be an incredibly benevolent future for all mankind. It was going to be like the betterment. And so I liked talking about that, or coming from that hopeful perspective during the special. It was kind of fun.
How'd that turn out?
I think that's going to be really cool. Now, I don't know if you saw this. A new study says that AI is technically funnier than humans. So what are your thoughts on this? Do you think AI will ever take over humor and art?
I don't think so. I think that I can always tell when it's AI or not. It's the nuance. I think like certain things. Here's one thing I did say. It's maybe controversial, but I said that AI will expose mediocrity, meaning that if AI can do it, then it probably means that whoever's doing whatever they're doing, they need to do a better job of it.
That's awesome.
Very good.
That's
really good point.
Totally agree.
That's a great point.
Well, Reggie, you're a man of many talents for people that don't know. So explain how you incorporate music into your comedy sets.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up studying music and playing music all my life, and it's just another language to me. So for me, it was just a tool to use in conjunction with what I like to do with humor. So I kind of see them as the same thing. It's just another language, and it just came pretty natural to me. And there's a long precedent for it, like Charo and Zsa Zsa Gabor and Victor Borga, people like that have used comedy and music. This has been around for a really long time. So in a way, it's like I'm just following a tradition.
Yeah. Well, in your memoir, you write about growing up biracial in a small town. So what about experience shaped your sense of humor?
I think being half oppressed and half oppressor, I think it gives me a kind of a unique perspective, because I think if I would have grown up in like a major city with a lot of colored folk around, I think I probably would have ended up in a slightly different zone. But since I grew up in primarily white culture but biracial, it really makes you question what you are and who you are, and then kind of embrace my African American roots. When I would go visit my relatives and things like that, it just made me think about who I am and my identity a lot more intensely, but also made me very observational, made me kind of like, I didn't feel like I was ever a part of one group or another. So it really forced me to become who I am, singularly, I guess.
Wow, that's powerful. Okay, so we kick things off talking about your new comedy special, which is set in the 90s. How would you approach the 80s? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, well, if I get to do a special in the 80s, I want it to be like super, super accurate. So I want to like use the cameras they use in the 80s. I want to like get like a Hollywood, wardrobe person and get the makeup right and get like, basically like a Hollywood production, like when, like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, like how immersive that felt. You really felt like, oh, this is LA in the 70s. I really want to have that accurate feeling to it and make it look like an Eddie Murphy special or a Paula Poundstone
that would be
special, whatever.
I just want the intro of that special is to you to pull up to the venue in a white limo with the boomerang. Remember the antenna on the back? Because that meant you had a car phone in there, and that was next level. Yes.
Good.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
good. That's really good. Reggie, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations, DBL Nation. You can stream Reggie's new special, Nevermind, on Veeps. Thanks again, Reggie. We'll be right back. Thank
Thanks
you.
So much.
Hey.